everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
All right. Let's see what's going on with that.
I hear.
Okay, good. Good.
I can hear you just fine now.
No, she's listening from the Twitch stream. All right. So I figured out what happened. So when I put together the new outline, you know, there we go. So what happened was when I set up the new layout, it changed the audio outputs within the mixer. So that's what happened. So that is what caused the problem. So now we should be live, and I believe and Barry should be joining us shortly. I'm going to send out an SOS. So let's see if she comes in. Let's see. Come on. You can do it. You can answer. We're here to call. There we go. There we go.
Thank you. Sorry.
Hi, Barry.
Hi. I hope all of you are doing well. I got lost in the subspace of the internet, and that happens from time to time.
Yeah, and for some reason, I'm trying to record it through Audition, but I'm doing like a normal local recording, so I may have to rip the audio from the video. And I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going, and I see it going, so I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. All right, so let's set this for audience mix. That's fine. Come on. All right, that's good. Yeah. And I'm just going to leave it at system. So that should do it because it's definitely hearing it on my end. So, all right, let's record. All right, so we got some recordings here. So let me adjust this. I'm going to bring this up a little bit more. And I don't know why the system is maxing out. All right, hold on here. No, that's fine. Okay. All right, that's why I'm hearing the high pitch in the background. The monitoring is on. Jesus, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a fun night. This is when I actually assumed everything was going to work together the way it should.
That's what you're assuming, huh?
Yeah, I know what happens when you assume. I know. You make an ass out of you and me. Trust me. I know that. And Kagome41088 says, welcome back, you guys. Thank you. We're glad to be back. For what it's worth. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to get through some of this to the best of our abilities. And then I am going to go back to the drawing board and figure out what went horribly wrong. I mean, I have no problems just doing the recording and then just ripping the audio and doing it in Audition. But having it in real time here saves me about 2 minutes. So, anywho, let's get tonight's show on the road. Welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 573. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
I'm Mako-chan.
And the purple-haired person is Barry Mellon.
I am Barry Mellon.
Hey, there you are. I was wondering where we were going to see that.
Yeah.
All right, hold on for 1 second here. Spin that dial back down. Yeah, you guys are coming in mighty low because of the...
Okay.
Hold on. All right. There we go. That should fix it.
Showing off a chibi version there, Barry?
Yeah, it is what happens after the new year. You've gotta
There we go.
You've gotta concentrate your power so that you can be your most powerful self. So yeah, we're just a little bit tired, so
Just a little bit.
Yeah, gotta save up that magical energy, huh?
Yeah, I'm right now looking at Audition. It's coming in so low. I may have to play around with the settings and just see what the heck's going on. Anywho, I have there's a live recording going, so I'm fine with that. So anywho, how is everybody doing tonight? You too?
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah, sleepy.
Yeah. As you can see, we kind of have something new here. As you can see, we've kind of freshened the layout a little bit some. Nice, bright, bolder colors, still representing. It's what we do. This is what we did. This is what I did on the front side of things. It's not complete. There's a couple of things I do need to add to it, which I am hoping in the next couple of weeks I would be able to premiere. So I'm looking forward to that, as long as I can get it working in. Well, damn. The entire Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray box set, 29% off, all 9 volumes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Not bad.
I know. But anywho.
I just bought a Lego set that's in the shape of a bonsai tree.
Oh, that is nice.
Ooh.
That is
It was
nice.
part of a whole set of flower-themed Lego sets.
Ah, okay.
Naruto.
Really interesting.
So, anywho, we are live tonight, week of January 10th, 2023, right here on Twitch TV. We are here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can find us here every Tuesday between a time at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com. And there are shows on the VOG Network that you can watch on Twitch as well. You can find them at Twitch TV/VOG Network. They kick things off at Sundays at 8 with the Bobby Blackwolf Show, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. And don't forget to come hang out in our Discord at vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show, basically every active show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel, so come through and hang out and have a good time. So we're going to get into the next part of things. So if it goes, and if I can get it to refresh, it should go to the next part. Wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to talk about how we spent our holiday break. Basically, instead of how was your week, how was your day, we'll tell you what we've been up to during the 3 weeks while we were recharging our batteries. Ari.
Well, it was a lot of work-related stuff, especially with, staffing issues being what they were, because why wouldn't it be? People were even told, hey, you have to have a doctor's note if you're going to call out sick any time between, I think, like the 20th or so and the New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't stop people, of course.
Of course not.
But I didn't even bother staying up for the New Year because I had to get up for work early the next morning. And, I don't know. I guess it just lost that wow factor for me. I don't know. But, when I did have a decent Christmas otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, though. I did get transferred to a lower interchange at work.
Right.
About as far away from where I was compared to my home normally, but my range, how far up I travel, is greatly reduced. Which is easier on my car, and if I get sent anywhere that isn't the Delaware Bridge,
right,
I'm gonna get paid the mileage to
go
to work.
Well, that's good.
As far as things I got mostly things I needed. I got a nice knife block, some cast iron cooking-ware.
Mm-hmm.
And I also got new luggage.
Oh, that's always good to have.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with the old one, though. I mean,
donate it.
Just donate it to a secondhand store around here somewhere.
That's what I was
But
thinking.
yeah, when you see it, you'll know it's mine. Trust me. I was gonna do the whole, like 40s or 50s style, like travel bug, where you put all like different stickers on it, but instead of like destinations and like places, it's all like nerd shit.
Yeah.
The only problem is the last T Fury order I placed, the shirt came, the stickers didn't.
Ooh.
So yeah, I got on them to ask, what's up, guys? Still waiting for it, and I haven't heard back from them, which is going to be so much fun to deal with. Also, I got so many gift cards that if I walked into a store with them, someone would think I'm being suckered in by an Indian call center scam.
Oh shit, dude.
But yeah, that's all things have been going for me.
Oh, good. Mako-chan, how was your break from the show?
Eventful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so Christmas went off. It was freaking cold. But I didn't really do anything. I didn't go out or anything, so I didn't really care about that. New Year's, however, I got into a car accident, sort of. And by sort of, I mean that Ranma and I were going to grab food, and as I was driving, I ran over garbage that I didn't see because it was pitch black, and damaged my car. So luckily the car actually works. I can drive it. There's nothing actually wrong that way with it.
Oh, that's good.
But the condenser for the air conditioning is completely busted. So now I have no air, and I have no heat in the car. So yeah, that's interesting.
If only we could pistol whip the person who let that garbage go flying.
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. I did, however, go ahead and I used duct tape to piece together my I used duct tape to piece together my bumper in the front, because it was basically, if I had driven any more with it on the high speeds of the parkway, it would have ripped off. So I used Galaxy print, star print duct tape. So it is still, out there and weird and completely looks off, but I don't care because it's my car, and I got enough that I'm probably going to do the other side to match it, just so that it looks like I kind of did it on purpose.
No, I get you. No, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I've been playing Persona 5.
Of course you have.
And stuck in a palace, and I'm pissed off because this is the hardest fight in the game. So I figured it would be difficult, but the fact that I can't beat it and I'm playing on easy is pissing me off. Like, I specifically chose easy because I've already seen the game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play it for myself.
And you just want to enjoy more of the story than anything else.
Right. I wanted to enjoy the story at my own pace. So here I am, completely stuck at this palace and can't go further. And the only thing I have, yes, I'm stuck on Okomura's palace. So, I mean, I can't do anything until I can beat this freaking thing. So I have looked up all of the guides. I am the level that I should be. I'm trying to level my personas a little bit more. And the problem is that it just keeps respawning robots, and I can't beat them. Like, I get all but one, and then they run away and completely respawn, and it's just it's pissing me off.
Just don't throw the controller.
No, basically what I've been doing, once I got up to this point, I will play. Like, I'll do whatever I can to upgrade and all of that, and I play. and when I can't beat it, I walk away.
Gotcha.
So you know, I did my one, I can't do it, the next time I'll go ahead and, you know, get everything leveled. It's just like none of my personas were really leveled enough to really do the palace. So I'm basically creating persona and leveling them.
Mm-hmm.
But each time I do, I kind of just like kill all of my money. So yeah, um, that's basically what I've been doing. I haven't played any Disney Dreamlight since right before Christmas, so I have to backtrack my Switch so that I can still play some of the Christmas stuff if it's still on there.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that Dreamlight game just is on Game Pass. I have to double check.
It might be.
I'm
It
not.
might be.
I'm not going to sit there and add it to my collection because I have a backlog as it is. I have been pondering over break to take out all of the video games I bought that are still sealed and just take pictures of what all I bought in the last 2 years. But yeah.
Well, I mean, the good thing is, once because it's still technically in beta, so once it comes out, normally it's actually going to be a free game, and then it's just going to be you spend the money on what you want in the game. But they were doing where you could pay for the beta and get extra stuff. But I'm pretty sure once the game actually goes fully live, they're cutting everybody back down to level 10. So like I haven't been grinding or anything like that because so many people that are at the limit of the game already and they're just like, I don't know what to do now. I'm just like, you could have played it casually like everybody else.
I think a lot of it too has to do with like the feeling of speedrun and the idea that there's like nothing that's really new anymore. Because with a lot of games and stuff like that, especially so you guys know I've been playing an MMO. We recently had an event released and it dealt with like a leveling system and all the other stuff that kind of goes on with an MMO. And I ended up finishing it in 3 days, which obviously I could have played it more casually.
Jesus.
I think a bit of it is that people feel the need to speedrun things now because there's always going to be something new coming, and a lot of folks maybe have the prerogative to try and get it done as quickly as possible so that they can be doing other things. But
yeah, that and speedrunning is really popular on Twitch.
And
GDQ's going on at this time.
Yeah, and our very own Bobby Blackwolf, he did he did some announcing for GDQ. So I'll get into that in just a bit. So
yeah, but I definitely think that people should maybe take a break and like play things more casually. I feel like everybody feels like they have to accomplish everything at once, and it definitely can make it a lot less fun.
Let me just say this, and then we can pass it over to Barry. I want to say louder in the back, especially to all of you cosplay weebs who powered through Kingdom Hearts 3 just so you can have the game completed and then jump back into working on your cosplays for Katsucon that year. That was me being a dick, so but I think y'all knew that.
It's fine. Like honestly, let's be real. Like it happens.
So Barry, how was your break from the show? What have you been up to in your cave of wonders?
In my cave of wonders. Well, I have been I'm gonna talk just lightly about a topic that I think a lot of us don't really address, and that's burnout. I have been severely burnt out. As you can tell, I am a bit of a digital presence, and it has been definitely a situation where I've found myself a little bit low powered, which is why I'm in my chibi form right now. But it's been one of those things where I've had to kind of reteach myself how to allow myself to enjoy things.
Right.
So I did obviously get into some different projects, and I have both of the big projects that I run that are my
Mhm.
work, as well as some other jobs that I do. And it gets overwhelming sometimes. So I've been kind of trying to focus on balancing things a little bit better
Yeah.
and getting more of the content out that I am working on. I I right now am working on a big project in the corporeal realm that deals in the fashion side of what I do. So hopefully I will be doing a show here at Katsucon in February.
Well, that's good.
Um, so hopefully I'll be kind of getting back into the fashion stuff, kind of slowly and gently. But it's definitely one of those things that's been a bit of a climb. Um, it's yeah, it's one of those things to teach yourself to relax sometimes. And I definitely have needed to take time away
Mhm.
from work and things like that to just decompress. So if you guys have been going through a lot yourself over the new year, or you feel like you need to take a break, if you can, I know it's a privilege for me to be able to take one, and I know not everybody can, but definitely take care of yourselves because mental burnout is huge, and it's really rough right now.
And I get it. I mean, to refer back, like I think it was like 3-4 years ago, I hit a point, doing all the cosplay photography and coverage. I just stopped for a few months. I'm like, I took the
Mhm.
pictures. I'm just like, I'm just not in the mood to deal with them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I started playing catch up, and I was starting to burn out over that. But I finally caught up, and I'm just like, I'm not going to go through this next time. Again, I think a lot of convention attendees don't understand that a lot of convention coverage is not the main job for a lot of them, like us. Like my main
Yeah.
job is IT. That pays the
Mhm.
bills for me to go to the shows and events. So yeah, at one time I could knock out photos in under 2 weeks. Now it's going to take me about a month because I'm going to take my time, not just to be sure that they're good, but I'm just not going to burn myself out, And again, if you don't like the fact that it's taking me longer than normally get your convention photos up, then don't visit the page. Simple as that. But it will be there. I haven't even put up the DerpyCon photos, but I haven't even started. I'm just like, Anywho, as you were saying, Barry. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
Mhm.
But basically, yeah, I went and visited the corporeal realm over the holidays.
Mhm.
I ended up going and seeing an Airbnb for the
Mhm.
first time, which was actually kind of exciting. I've never stayed in an Airbnb before, so that was a different experience for me. Um, and it was very fun. Um, it was with family, but because we were staying at the Airbnb, it was like a little farther off, so it
Right.
was more comfortable, um, and able to have like a comforting like separation. I also got to work on some fashion projects while I was gone, that were personal. So I did work on a bodice and skirt for the holiday season. And then also, I have been working on some pieces that are based on the MMO that I play, so that I can wear them to events and enjoy. And in general, it's been pretty good. I feel like I'm getting a lot better, but it is definitely one of those things that you improve on your mental health day to day, and it's not always an immediate gratification thing.
And I totally get that.
What MMO is
Mhm.
it?
Oh, it's Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. It's the Ghibli one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, anyway, so what I have been up to was, well, I've been, I'm not saying out of work, but I've been on vacation from work for about 2 weeks, and that was from the 16th until the 2nd. All offices were closed, so I stayed home. Granted, I did work 6 days throughout the 2 weeks. 2 days I went in and helped with the Wi-Fi rollout project, and 4 of those days I worked remote. And Mako watched me as I hung out at her place Friday. For that, that was So we went to a friend's New Year's Eve party, and it was themed Scooby Doo, and that was fun. And I realized I need to get a 2XL shirt for Shaggy, which I will probably be ordering in the next couple of weeks. So that's fine and dandy. So one of the things I wanted to do while I was on break was clean up the area behind me and rearrange my storage closet. For those of you who are watching the stream right now, as you can obviously see, I have not made the slightest attempt in doing so. I have moved some stuff around and put it in the closet. For those of you who are listening, there's just stuff sitting out here, and I moved some stuff in the closet. I do have a break this weekend, so maybe Sunday I will sit down and start on it, and then Monday, since Monday's a holiday, I don't have to work, so I will finish it up on Monday. So, let's see what else is going on. Well, another thing is, as you can see, the Twitch layout is slightly different. I made it a little bit more rounder, softer, a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more fun, not as crowded. I just wanted something a little bit more nicer, so I hope you like that. Another thing, as you can tell earlier in this feed, we were having some audio issues. At first, Ari and Mako couldn't hear the background music, and I changed that setting. Then find out that y'all could not hear the audio because of a setting change. So, one of the things that I went out and did was I bought this. This is an AverMedia Live Nexus streamer. Basically, it is a mixer meets Stream Deck. That's basically what this is. So, I have been playing around with it for a while, and I got it working to a point, and I thought I had everything set. And also, while I was doing all of these edits, Barry was kind enough to jump onto Skype so I could fix the video screens and the resolutions, which I think really look nice. And I figured out how the issue with sometimes when we're on, our video screens would either go large or small. That has been fixed. So that's the main thing. So right now I'm putting this Nexus streamer through its paces, and I'm enjoying it. I'm going to have to check the audio for Audition, because I'm seeing some stuff, but not as much as it should be. So we're going to see how that goes. But thankfully, I am doing a live recording of the show. So if anything, I can just rip the audio and just drop it in for the podcast. Now, what this also means is the Surface 3 is officially retired. Yes, the Surface 3 Windows 10 tablet that I received from working at Microsoft. Actually, everybody that was opened at the Fifth Avenue store received a Surface 3 tablet. I was using this to run the controls of the articles. That's why you always saw me reaching over to the left if you're watching the stream. I was tapping that, and I always mention how I have to tap it a little bit harder and stuff like that for it to go through. Now, that's all said and done. The Nexus streamer is completely touchscreen. Everything is set here. A light tap gets it up and running, and we are golden. So there are still some hiccups in the background, but it's quite all right. I think it's fine. I can make it work for the way that it should be. So, and that's basically has been my week, and my break. Besides the fact that stuff I bought showed up. Like, there is a picture on my personal Facebook of 3 figurines I bought from Otaku Mode, all 3 showing up the same damn day. Let's see what's going on in our chat room now here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. Hiccup Pixie says, "Ooh, pro streamer now." Fam, I am far from pro, believe you me. If I was pro, I'd probably have a green screen up and you wouldn't see the mess of this studio, okay? Let's see what else. Nemesis47 says, "I missed AJS. Happy the podcast is back for 2023. Yeah, if you remember, every year we take at least maybe 2 to 3 weeks off to kind of rest and recharge. And since I go on vacation for 2 weeks, I might as well just we're all going on break. Especially since I am planning my trip to Japan this year. So, there's no way in hell I'm going to be away. I'm going to be up at 9 a.m. with a laptop and a mini mixer doing a live show. That's not happening. I might pop up on Twitch and just do a chill talk feed, but we'll see about that. So, let's see what else is going on here. Gamer Girl X says, haha, opening an Elvis outfit to modify for Katsu. It's so blingy. Going to add more bling this weekend. one can never have too much bling. Remember that. All right, let's get into our next story here. Next thing here, Geek Roundtable. If it'll go through. No. Actually, no. We got to go back one. All right. Let's see if it'll do that. There we go. The code's actually working. Wonderful. All right. Housekeeping notes. Let's see. We want to let you know what's been going on. Don't forget episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Anime Jam Session. Click on playlists. Click on podcast VODs. The latest episodes will be there, and it's usually up by Thursday at 12 noon. If I remember properly. Yeah. Probably in the next couple of weeks, we will have our convention lineup going. Like I said, it'll always be a pending one because we are still in a pandemic. And if the majority of the staff isn't going, we're going to cancel going to that con in general. Barry, don't even worry about the spelling. Either or takes you there. So, but I really appreciate that. Let's see what else we have here. Let's get into Geek Roundtable. This is the part of the show that we talk more about the geekier aspects of our break. You know, we want to kind of share off some cool stuff. You know, let's see. Did it go through? Come on, do it for me. There we go. There we go. All right. So on the Surface 3. I can go right to the website and push the left and right buttons to make the menu go up and down. Those same codes will work in a Stream Deck. But in a Streamer Nexus, it'll go and then I have to refresh it so it knows to push it forward. So, Ari, what you got for Geek Roundtable?
Well, I'll tell you what, it showed up like literally the day after we went on break.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally got the figurine that I had pre-ordered from TOM, and here you are. It's the best Fire Three Houses girl, Bernadetta.
Okay.
I know you've played Three Hopes at least, right?
No.
The Fire Emblem.
If it's the Muso game, then yes, I have.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes.
I haven't gotten that far into it, and I'm very iffy about it because I understand they're trying to make it feel more like a Fire Emblem game. To me, that is bullshit. It is a Muso game. It should have elements of Fire Emblem, but play and feel more like a Muso game. But that's just me.
Yeah, the problem was the fact that they tried to just crowbar the Fire Emblem aspect into a Dynasty Warriors game.
Which is probably why I haven't finished the demo yet. But yeah, I played the living hell out of the Hyrule Warriors one. They got that one on right. Even with the second one, that's the prequel to the Zelda game that everybody loves. They added some elements, but it still plays like a Muso game. So you know.
Also, my favorite pairing for her in the game is with Raphael. He's a big dumb meathead who's infuriatingly happy and positive about everything.
Sounds like
sounds
like Coop from Megas XLR.
Well, he's not. Well, it's all muscle instead of fat. But his class line involves him just straight up punching and beating the shit out of people with his bare hands.
Whoops.
I mean, granted, fist weapons are pretty much just gauntlets, but you can actually get him to. You can actually get the kind of class to fight barehanded.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun.
All right, Mako. Is it another week of the boys?
It is another week of the boys.
Of course it is.
Yeah, I was just too lazy to grab something that I got for Christmas and put it on. So you have the boys. What?
Nothing.
What?
I keep thinking of the Amazon show, The Boys.
Well, technically, The actor of one of its namesakes is on there.
Yeah, but he's a little bitch.
And
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Barry, what cool projects have you been Oh, that's right. You haven't been working on any projects during your little sabbatical, right?
I've been kind of, I guess, working on projects, but it's
Okay.
been mostly personal
Yeah.
projects.
Tell us about your yeah.
Yeah. Being a magical being, I definitely had a time turning myself very small, but I've definitely had a lot of fun playing with different technology and enabling the chibification of myself. I also have been learning about digital art programs, so things like Procreate. I also got a book, a tome, if you will, on a survival medicine. Which I know sounds really funny, but it's literally just a book on first aid in pretty much any situation. So it's like okay, I know this is gonna be slightly dark, but it's basically like a post-apocalyptic first aid manual that covers pretty much any medical need you could have. Anything from broken bones to injury to mental health and all those kind of things you might experience in situations like that. So it's a very cool book, and I'm very excited to read through it.
Oh
I
my
got
god.
I also got another tome about Procreate and using that program, so getting
Yeah.
better with digital art so that I can take my art style to the next level. So I'm very excited. I've been teaching myself a lot of new things, and in general, I get nerdy about books, so I guess that's kind of my geeky thing.
Well, that means there's a bunch of there's a few books at work I'm going to put in a box and ship to you.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to learn.
All right. For some reason, I could picture you and Mako just reading through that book and just taking notes, going, I can see that. All right, so I've been keeping up with anime to the best of my abilities, and I know the winter 2023 anime season is upon us. There's a few titles I want to check out, but I'm going to wait. Right now, I am going to finish catching up with my summer titles and my fall titles. And one thing I've been thinking about, I don't know about you guys and gals, but one of the things I like about anime streaming services is the opportunity to watch older titles. Like, you may have seen a couple of them at cons, but you couldn't afford the DVDs or the Blu-rays, or you might have picked up an episode here and there and you couldn't find the rest, So that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to kind of go through a backlog of my backlog of anime titles, and I am currently I'm on season 2 of Love, Chunibo, and Other Delusions. So, because I remember watching that, but I never finished it. And now that since they're dubbed, I'm like, you know what? I started watching it in Japanese, so I might as well watch the dub. And the dub's really good. So, and there's that. As for merch, you can't see it, but I may post a photo on the page, but I have to take my tree down, but I have like a little 2-foot tree up here, and I have all of my Christmas Hallmark ornaments out on display. The Super Nintendo is sitting outside of the box. I have my Sakurajima Christmas bunny outfit, she's sitting out on display. Yes, I do have the Christmas Asuka figurine, but that's still in its box sealed. I don't think I will be ever breaking the seal on that one. So, but like I said, stuff's been showing up, has been ordering, And one of the things that I picked up was from Funko. One of my Funko Pops arrived last week, and the other limited edition one showed up today. I was just totally surprised. So, one of my most recent Pops that I have picked up that's shown up at my front step is Tony Soprano from The Sopranos.
Nice.
And for those of you who are listening, it's the normal Tony Soprano Pop, and he's wearing his black gray slacks and shoes, and his red shirt with like gold strips, vertical strips on him. And there is a limited edition one where he's in his robe. He has his cigar, his newspaper, and there is a duck standing next to him. Because there was like a 1 or 2 episode plot line where he was hanging out with the ducks, you know, in his pool yard, in his pool. So that was interesting. So, and that's basically what I have. Next week I may show off that pop. I do have 3 other figurines. I may show those off instead. We'll see how it goes. So now that we got all that out of the way, we are finally going to get into tonight's episode, and I apologize for it going late because shit happens. So let's go ahead and bring things forward, and let's go ahead and refresh. And as we do that, Mako's going to tell us what's been going on with Pokemon.
Yeah, so for those that haven't heard the news, this will include spoilers for the latest anime. For those that know, we had a discussion on what was going to go on because there had been rumors that this might be, you know, Ash's last anime and that they would be going elsewhere. Well, the rumors are true. And it looks like the anime will no longer be featuring Ash and Pikachu's story. Yeah, so I mean, this is going back to 1997. That's when the first season came out, and basically every season since has come over. And you're talking about 25 years of the same characters, which is all well and good and great. But I guess they decided that they were looking to go in a different direction. So now that Ash is the Pokemon World Champion, basically they figured he's, you know, got his masters. You know, he's a master of Pokemon. So there really is no reason for his story to go on. They have decided, though, that there's going to be a couple of episodes at the end of this arc, and it's going to be called Pocket Monsters Maisie's Pokemon Master. It's going to start airing in Japan in 3 days on January 13th. And basically, the first episode is going to be answering that question. Now that you're a champion, how close have you become to becoming a Pokemon Master? And it's going to go through with his life and, you know, everything that's gone up to this point. So, that being said, the very first episode is also going to bring back a bunch of the characters that had already been in the series. So the English adaptation title for the episode is going to be Pokemon Aim to be a Pokemon Master. They have confirmed that the first episode is going to feature Ash healing up an injured Latias, with the second episode seeing Ash and Misty reunite and going for a spot of fishing. Episode 3 will feature the return of Brock. And then there's also going to be a special episode of the Black and White anime. One of the characters from the Black and White anime who also traveled with Ash.
So
Sounds
probably
good.
Ceylon.
Yeah, Ceylon. So what I find really cool is that the theme song, what they're doing is they're actually taking the original theme song from the 1997 series and doing a remixed version of it. And that's going to be the theme song for these special episodes.
Which is kind of not surprising in a way, because almost every season of Pokemon has had that theme, but it's just been like a different melodic beat to it.
And there's tons of remixes to it, too. Official or not.
Yeah, but I mean, this is being done specifically for the nostalgia.
And this will make you probably cry like a baby.
Probably. But on top of that, which I'm not seeing, maybe it is, but I'm not seeing it here. They're also going to be bringing back some of the artists that worked on the first seasons to
Well,
work
that's
on
cool.
the episodes.
Oh,
So they,
God, is the artwork going to turn in the same fashion?
I don't know. I mean, there are a couple of pictures popping up here and there, and it does look like it's going to be closer to the artwork that is being done in the movies now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so on top of all of that, with the end of Ash and Pikachu's journey, they are bringing in a new protagonist for a brand new series. That is going to start in Japan in April of 2023. The new protagonist will be, I'm assuming it's Liko or Lyko and Roy. So it will follow the two of them. And then obviously they will be, going after the newer Pokemon from the newest games. They have not said if certain characters are going to be making cameos or anything like that. So it's very possible that the new anime will come into meeting some of those characters. But other than that, a lot of this is also being done because the voice actresses have been doing this forever. Ash, who is known as Satoshi in Japan, and Pikachu, they've had the same voice actresses since the beginning. So they've been working on this series, which, is basically a weekly series in Japan. It's continuous. It has not really had any breaks. So they've been basically working their butts off, and they're now in their 50s, and at that point allow them to have their break.
Meanwhile,
Still, that kind of gainful, steady employment over that long, that's almost unheard of in this industry.
and meanwhile, the voice actress who does a Goku, a Gohan, and Goten is looking at them and going, lightweight, as she does a shot of sake. And she's like near her
She
80s.
screams into the microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, what's cool about Masako, what she does is that she's actually like she's demonstrated how she can go from each version, each character, in a single session, just all three of them having a conversation, and it's coming from one person. It's really screwy to listen to if you're not ready for it.
I mean, I do feel bad for the people that have been using this series as their main source of income. Because while we're talking about this and all of these announcements were made, when these announcements were made in Japan, that was when the English-speaking voice actors first heard about this. They heard about it just the same way that we did. They were not told, from what I know, they were not told. So it came as a very big surprise to them as well. I mean, which is sad because you figure they have been playing these characters, and for all of the voice actors, they've been playing these characters for so long, to realize that they're no longer going to be coming back to this world to work on. It's kind of strange. I mean, even for me, who's who I've been watching the series since it came out, it's very weird to think that next season I won't be sitting down to watch Ash and Pikachu. And I'm kind of sad because they were building up this past season to really have something special with Go and the whole Mew adventure and stuff. So I hope that at some point they do build on that, because I think that would be a really cool intro to a completely different movie series, maybe, or an OVA or something like that. But I really hope that background story doesn't just get lost, because it really would have been something interesting and something different that they were doing.
I mean, kid pretty much went into retirement on like the highest of notes. Like there are like professional athletes who wish they could go out like that. I mean, you figure, comes home with a W train, celebrating throughout the night. I keep dancing, all that good stuff. I mean, what's going to happen to them? They're just going to get like, they can't really just hit the reset button on them like that again, because it becomes just more and more absurd as the series went on.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he actually went from runner-up to league champion, they were like, yeah, okay, we can't really keep hitting the reset button on them. They can't just pretend shit like that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a long way from getting disqualified before he's a long way from getting disqualified because his Pokemon decided to just take a nap and not fight.
Yeah, I have liked what they've done with the series and going back and showing all of his different Pokemon and everything. The fact that they continue to say that he is 10 years old and he's got
that's
Pokemon
also a
freaking world. It's like Bart Simpson still being 10 years old.
I mean,
I get it, but at the same time, they really had the perfect opportunity with this series to have Ash grow into things, and ending the series with him being, more than just this 10-year-old.
Maybe they'll suddenly surprise us with a one-off cameo in the new series where he's suddenly like much older and who knows.
You mean post-puberty Ash?
Yeah, I definitely want to see some of the characters come back. I am questioning kind of who the antagonist is going to be in the new series, because, we've had Team Rocket with Jesse and James through the entire thing.
They're walking off too.
Yeah. So, to have all of that just gone, it makes me wonder if they're going to bring any of those elements back into this new series to really capture and keep at least some of the fans that are already, watching the series. Obviously I'm going to watch it, but at the same time, I don't know. I just, to see all of them gone and to have a new anime that is only going to focus on the new game, maybe that's the way that they're going to go into it, is each new anime or each new game is going to have a separate anime with different characters, and I don't know.
It was like that with the Yu-Gi-Oh! It's been like that with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise.
All right, so in our chat room here at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session, forgive me if I butcher your name. Why I Soul Rack Taken says the voice actress for Pikachu also voices Sachiko from Corpse Party. Food for thought. And that's also an anime I think you and Barry would enjoy, since you like your macabre stuff.
Yeah, I will say on top of that, the voice actress that voices for Eevee is also Madoka. So they really do cross over into taking some really badass anime voices and just having them say their names over and over again.
Eevee. Oh man. And meanwhile, while all of this is going around, Digimon are like, hold the line, boys, our time is coming again.
And it's the industry though. Like the voice acting industry is kind of like that. A lot of times, like voices overlap, or
Yeah.
it's a character type, and so especially feminine voices or feminine presenting voices playing younger male characters or male leads or even lead characters in general. It is one of those situations where you end up with someone who's going to play that character for many
Mm-hmm.
years, and it ends up being one of those tenured professions in a way. I
Mhm.
mean, it doesn't. I mean, and of course, then the title characters or those voices that are very recognizable tend to be the ones that also make the money and make the appearances in other things because they're recognizable. They become the celebrity voices and so on and so
Yeah.
on. But yeah, I can appreciate definitely that that they're getting a break, um,
Agreed.
and that the story has had closure because I feel like that's something that we're going to see a lot more of, especially in our generation, where it's a situation of we've kind of grown up with the character. The character is finally showing signs of growing up, and from there, the story can move on to a new journey.
Meanwhile, it shows Ash and Pikachu at 10, and then they're walking off like the ending stage of Ryu from Street Fighter, and it shows them age 15 and a little bit older, a little bit chubbier Pikachu, and you hear the Toys R Us kid theme fading out in the background, you know.
Not the theme, just the idle humming thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, enough about that. We're going to get into our next story here. We're going to talk about the founder of Anime NYC, Peter Tatara, who is leaving, which completely shocked everyone, threw everybody off. Wow. So, here's the thing. He's at the time he's the vice president of events at Left Field Media, as well as the founder of Anime NYC. He announced yesterday that he is leaving and starting a new position at the New York-based Japan Society. Peter Tatara will be their new director of film and will oversee Japan Cuts, the largest Japanese film festival in North America, as its festival director. With Japan Society, Tatara aims to develop programming that both honors the organization's history and speaks to what Japan means today. Tatara previously worked for Reed Expositions, ASIC Incorporated, and the now defunct Central Park Media, or some people like to call under their manga division, U.S. Mangled Corpse. In 2017, he founded Anime NYC and served as its events director. M.K. Goodwin will become the new event director for the con, while Tatara said he will still serve as a consultant of Anime NYC and Left Field Media. Specifically, he plans to teach them, train them on previous Anime NYC processes, and make introductions to partners. Goodwin previously worked with Tatara at New York Comic Con and has been in charge of Left Field Media's Comic Cons. Anime NYC took place last year, November 18th to the 20th, at the Javits Center in New York City. The event will take place this year on November 17th to the 19th. The event will continue to have the same space it has used for the past few years at the Javits Center. However, the staff is trying to expand the convention into the full Javits Center as opposed to just part of it in the future, and half the time I'm thinking it's in the whole fucking thing, but I guess I was wrong. As an alternate, they are looking into adding nearby venues in the Hudson Yards and Times Square neighborhoods, and that will be kind of cool. I would like to see them build a hotel onto the Javits Center or put a hotel across the street. That would be kind of cool. And I would pay whatever that rate is just to be across the street, but that's just me. Now, this is a man who founded Anime NYC. This is also the man who helped bring us New York Comic Con. It's also the man that brought us, the now defunct New York Anime Festival, which was a Reed Pop show. And he basically, like I said, he left Reed Pop to do this. Now, for those of you who don't know, Left Field Media was acquired by Clarion Events, a company out of the UK, about 2-3 years ago. As someone said to me, it seems that under this acquisition, they Hold on for a second here. Hold on here. Under this acquisition, they may have pushed more for Peter to do things a certain way, and he was pushing back against, which is why he's like, F this shit, I'm out. In a nicer way. Sort of like how, the guy that was Geralt Rivera from The Witcher, Henry Cavill, how he just left because they were not keeping things as pure to the lore of The Witcher, which is why he's now doing a Warhammer 40,000K series for Amazon. Well, for some people, this could be great news. For some, not so much. This is just going to be a wait and see, especially if he's putting everything together in a guidebook and just like, here's the Holy Bible on how to run Anime NYC. Do not defile it. Which is something I hope they do not do. It's hard to come by good anime cons these days. All right. And Ari has this article he needs to talk about real quick before he calls it a night, because my man's got to get up at 4 a.m. for work. He's a true hustler.
I hate doing this. And I've got 5 days on, 1 day off, 5 days on, 1 day off, and then 5 days off for the next 3 weeks. And then 5 days on for the next 3 weeks. So 5-1, 5-1, 5. It's maddening.
I believe it.
My scheduling sucks. Anyway, Kaiju No.8 anime is to air in 2024 as a collab between production IG and Studio Khara. And not only is Ghost in the Shell's production IG producing the anime, but Evangelion's Studio Khara will also handle the kaiju designs. In addition to the trailer, which I will put a link in the chat for you all to see. There we go. The show has released teaser posters in English and Japanese. And you can see it nicer. Kaiju No.8, production IG, all the good stuff. Created by Naoya Matsumoto, the original manga series has been serialized in web magazine Shonen Jump Plus from July 2020. It's also available to read outside of Japan at Manga Plus. The series takes place in a world in which kaiju attacks become commonplace. The story follows Kafka Hibino, who has been relegated to the cleanup crew dealing with kaiju corpses after his dream of joining the Japan Defense Force ends in failure. However, when a small monster flies into his mouth, Kafka gains the ability to turn into a monster himself and is dubbed Kaiju No.8. And it's just said that it will air in 2004. Nothing specific yet. Like, yeah, the like stuff like Super Sentai, like they never show you this part, do they?
Probably not. No.
No, they never do. Like I remember when like I think it was around the first when the live action Power Rangers movie, like the reboot came out. They were like someone had asked the class, like, why do people still live in Angel Grove if it gets attacked by monsters so frequently? And they're just like, property value is cheap.
Well, there you go.
This could be a fun series to watch.
And I'm trying to show the one of the images. Just bear with me because I'm just throwing this in here. Let me see. Let me grab this. I want to show off one of the cover boxes. All right, there we go. Yeah, that looks pretty boss. And Cedar Berry says, I was going to say low rent. Both are acceptable answers, sir.
Low rent, low property values.
Low rent, high rise, y'all.
All right, but seriously, though, I got to get going, guys.
All right, Ari. It's been
Have
real.
a good night, Ari. Thank you for coming to hang out with us today.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
We're so glad of that.
All right, see you guys later.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we're going to turn his camera off, and we're probably going to skip one of the articles due to time, because we had a bit of a rough start, which, again, I dutifully apologize for. And now we're going to talk about something that we've kind of discussed on this show here and there about, various issues in the anime industry with voice actors, especially when it comes to harassment. And Ada Hirano, y'all know her as the voice of Haruhi Suzumiya from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and the blue hair.
Also Death Note.
Isn't she Misa Mane?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's in Fairy Tale.
Oh. And I believe, and I forget the character's name, but the blue-haired character from Lucky Star.
Oh, yeah.
The one that basically is Mako-chan. Yeah, Kanata. Yeah, Kanata from Lucky Star.
Kanata, yeah.
Yeah, you have... Yeah, Mako is one part Kanata and one part, what's her name from Azumanga Daioh? Sakaki-san.
So yeah, Death Note voice actress Hirano Aya recently talked about the threats against her life, which sadly is a story that's not a rare case in the anime industry. It's an old refrain from the entertainment industries the world over: speak up about harassment and risk losing your job, or stay silent and suffer. For voice actors in Japan, experiencing both scenarios plus the occasional death threat from delusional fans, if you're really unlucky, it's almost a given. The voice actress Hirano Aya, whose many credits include The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Death Note, and Fairy Tail, knows this firsthand. While the bulk of her work now consists of stage productions, she recently shared on Twitter how she continues to receive death threats and deal with slander whenever she works in anime again. Fortunately, the police resolved those situations without incident, but it made her reconsider and want to do nothing in the anime world. And this is a quote from her page. I want to help preserve these wonderful works for future generations and popularize them abroad as part of our culture. But at the same time, I don't think it's healthy to work in situations where I feel my life is in danger because of a faction of radical fans. That's from her Twitter. Hirano's ordeal is a sober reminder of the toxicity deeply embedded in otaku culture. Yet death threats are just a facet of the overall harassment tainting the voice acting industry. While by no means a new problem, in recent years, many voice actors, mostly feminine or women, have spoken out about harassment they've endured from fans, colleagues, and superiors, and they're very rarely cards in their favor. Unfortunately, in a lot of Japanese culture and in work culture, it's considered taboo to even speak out about these kind of instances, and it actually makes you appear to be a difficult person whenever you speak out about harassment, bullying, or other instances in this case. So it's a situation where, they don't feel like they can talk about it. In Hirano's case, her death threats stretched back to over a decade, to the height of her career. Vitriol against her rose up when rumors of her sexual relations with a male member of her band led to the band's breakup. Her honesty about the dating preferences on a variety show also angered hardcore otaku, or the I believe it's called the gakijo community, which is basically hardcore fans that almost feel like they have a relationship with the celebrity that they're into. Enough to destroy their Hirano merchandise, which it doesn't make sense to me, but I understand in certain people's mindsets. Parasocial relationships are wild, y'all. Unfortunately, we've seen how even the whisper of a rumored romance or sexual dalliance can derail an idol's career, and that's almost what happened to Hirano, who was very restricted from taking on new anime roles following the scandal. Only after switching to a different agency could Hirano find new work. Sadly, they're not uncommon threats. Ishikawa Yui, the voice of Mikasa Ackerman from Attack on Titan, received a series of anonymous threats in 2020 that targeted her, her family, and a director at her agency. In 2019, police arrested 2 people for sending death threats about Ayumi, the voice behind Final Fantasy's Tifa Lockhart, and one of them allegedly wanted to, trigger warning, wanted to allegedly gouge her eyes out.
Oof.
In both cases, threats involved the agency staff and disrupted production enough to fall under obstruction of business, an arrestable offense in Japan, because what do they care about more? Not their clients, not their workers, but no, the money. But for voice actors without an agency or a union willing to back them up, dealing with harassment is much harder, especially in the workplace, and especially for indie. No power to say no. Amidst the media buzz about anti-harassment legislation that passed in May 2019, BuzzFeed Japan sat down with a veteran voice actress to talk about her experiences with harassment in the industry. And according to the anonymous actress, I doubt there's a female voice actress out there who hasn't been sexually harassed. While she already had an inkling of the industry's bad reputation prior to entering, she never thought she'd be the target of harassment. I believed sexual harassment would be aimed at girls much prettier than me. Miss K also shared how the clients would say things to her like, "You want this job, right? It's your dream, right? I won't do anything to you, so let's go to a hotel." Wow, that's really slimy. If voice actresses felt like they had no voice before, the Me Too movement certainly inspired many to take theirs back. In a now deleted Twitter thread, Enomoto Atsuko admitted to wanting to quit her job only a few years after her debut due to the mental anguish from the power and sexual harassment she endured. She feels she has the duty to look after younger women, just like the senior voice actresses who looked after her. Konishi Hiroko also shared her refusal to join Furuba, Fruits Basket director Daichi Akitaro, in a mixed bathing spring led to losing out on acting roles. She also spoke to the hustle culture and the expectation to sell yourself for roles, which often included providing service to male staff. The pressure on voice actors to commodify their voice leaves them open to being taken advantage of, and when you're a freelance contractor, it can be really hard to say no. There's no legal safety net. Power harassment, or pawahara, was a hot topic in 2019 when revisions to labor law required companies to enforce anti-harassment measures and provide consultation services for workers experiencing harassment. However, the law failed to include freelancers and job seekers, some of the most vulnerable groups who need the services the most. In order to compel the government to extend the law to them, acting and freelance organizations launched a survey to ascertain which kind of harassment they incur. The survey only garnered 828 participants and only 14%, which were voice actors, but the response highlighted a grim reality. 60.8% of respondents experienced power harassment and 35.4% sexual harassment. 40% also stated they didn't tell anyone about their harassment, and 60% stated that they felt it wouldn't make any difference if they did. And unfortunately, for the most part, it sometimes doesn't. This lack of legal safety net compounds tangential fears over a new tax law publicizing creators' identities, while voice actors typically work under their real names. Many within the industry fear the law will not only encourage more harassment, but deter people from pursuing it as a career. It's a pretty dismal picture, and judging by past incidences, it's a pretty bad world of harassing and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And we have talked about something similar here on our show off and on for the last year and a half. Vic Mangina, we've discussed that. We're not going to go any further discuss here, but just understand that the Texas Supreme Court is not one to hear his case. So it is officially dead in the water. Fine, whatever. But what we're talking about here, what Barry has discussed, same thing happens here. And, it isn't right, nor is it fair, And I do understand being angry, like about a voice actress or actor about how a character is being portrayed or something like that. Get over it. That's what you gotta do. Just get over it. They're doing a job. I mean, I didn't like how some Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. I cannot watch the Japanese version of it. I absolutely cannot. Her voice actress irritates the living hell out of me. It's the way they project her voice. I just can't do it. I absolutely cannot do it. But I'm not going to sit there and write out an email of threats. No, I have an option. I will flip to the dub, which Monica Rial does an amazing job as Uzaki. And even if she didn't, I'm not going to bitch about it to her on Twitter. No, I'm just going to turn it off and find something else to watch. Because my mama raised me right. Enough about that. We're going to get into our last story of the night. We are going to skip about the brand new Precure, or I like to call it Wannabe Sailor Moon Roster Update 2023. And for those of you who know, you know. Okay, refresh. There we go. So, it seems that Netflix has picked up the live action rights to My Hero Academia. Well, probably because they couldn't purchase Disney Sky High. I know, bad joke.
Oof.
People kept complaining, it's just like Sky High. But I always say, yeah, but actually this is actually good. And I just say to piss them off, and I just keep going. So,
oof. Yeah, we know you're a troll.
Yep. Sometimes, only for the greater good. So, the screenplay for it will be written by Joby Harold, who wrote Disney's Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was, from my understanding, really good. The film is being produced by Legendary Entertainment, and it will be directed by Shinsuke Sato. His previous live-action projects were Bleach, Inuyashiki, and Gantz, but this will be his first English-language film. This is going to be adapted from Kohei Horikoshi's manga of the same name, My Hero Academia. It's set in a world where a majority of people have superpowers known as quirks. The story follows a quirkless boy named Deku who is determined to become a superhero. The anime is produced by Bones, and it started back in 2016. Season 6 is now currently airing on Crunchyroll, so definitely want to check that out. And there's also been 3 films that have been released, so you definitely want to check those as well, which I do need to sit down and watch. My Hero Academia is sort of like X-Men light. It's like the lighter side of X-Men. It's not dark, but then you watch the current season 6, you're just like, shit got fucking real in a heartbeat. Alright, so now that we got that out the way, we are going to get into our next part of the show that y'all really like to stick around for. Meanwhile, in Japan. Okay. Let's see, what do we have here? Wow. Mako, you pick yours.
I kind of want the first one.
Okay. Fair enough. For some reason, I see Barry taking the last one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because you like your fruits.
I do indeed love fruit. I don't know if my name is any give.
I know, that's why I was like, yeah, this is a Barry story.
Yeah. So which one are you going to take?
I will take the second story, so.
I had a feeling you would.
I just wasn't sure. It was either going to be the second or the third, you know?
Yeah, I know with the second one, you kind of deal with that on your own. So I figured you might, like that.
What time is it? Showtime! Shotgun, pull. Anywho, sorry.
Yeah, anyway, so we had talked about this a little while back. So back in October of 2021, a man in Fukuoka City showed which side of the should you ask the staff before you use the bathroom at a convenience store debate by politely requesting permission from the woman working the register. Less polite, though, was that the teacher had just purchased a box of condoms. And the way he phrased his request was, I want to masturbate, so would it be all right if I use the restroom? So, as polished as customer service in Japan may be, convenience aren't quite that accommodating. The man's request was turned down, and so was an identical one he made on a different day. And nearly a year later, a police investigation was finally able to confirm his identity as a teacher in a public middle school. Just this past Tuesday, the Municipal Board of Education handed down its judgment on what to do with the handyman. And announced that he was being dismissed from his job for disciplinary reasons. Quoting, his conduct was unforgivable and unbecoming of a public education servant. We deeply apologize. 2 months of deliberation seems like more time than an organization should really need to decide if a guy asking if it's okay to jerk off in a convenience store restroom shouldn't be working with kids. As a government institution, though, it's likely the Board of Education has certain time-consuming protocols it has to abide by in disciplinary matters. Or maybe they just needed the extra time to process the indictment that was issued last month against the same man as a result of recent revelations that in both February and March of this year, he snuck into an extracurricular club room used by female students at the school where he taught.
Oh, Jesus.
Japanese schools usually don't have dedicated locker rooms. Club rooms are generally where students change into athletic uniforms before games and practices. And his goal was to secretly record video of the girls.
Wow.
Remember, not all anime is truthful, you know? Not every school has a separate has a separate locker room.
Yeah, according to statements he made during the board's investigation into the matter, he said, "I wanted to show the videos to a woman I met through social media. I was hoping to then send me videos in return."
Oh my gosh. But
So the statement leaves it hazy as to whether he was hoping for videos of the woman herself or simply videos that she could procure, and also doesn't explain why he thought she'd be willing to oblige him. Whatever his logic, the guy seems pretty lacking in understanding as to what is and isn't socially appropriate behavior, and since he was a social studies teacher, it shouldn't be too hard to find a more suitable educator to take his place. Yeah, I know that we talked about that a couple months back. And when I saw that, I knew that we had to go ahead with the update, because the fact that he was caught, you know, in his schoolrooms and this wasn't just a one-time thing. It's just, holy crap.
that's freaking gross, dude. Like, you're an educator. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway.
I got nothing. I'm just like, I mean, it's one thing if you actually use the bathroom, you know, for, you know, because you're not going to make it home in time to take a piss or drop a deuce, but for pocket pool, I mean, come on.
I'm gonna guess it was probably more to embarrass the female convenience than to actually do anything. He probably got off more on that than anything else.
Oh, jeez.
Just from the rest of the stuff in the conversation, that just seems to be probably what it was about.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Anyway, next.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah,
and
next, please.
crackers. Ugh. So we get into our next story here, where a politician got in trouble for doing pull-ups inside a train. Sorry about that. I was trying to adjust the audio. There we go. It seems that he has no memory of why he thought it would be a great idea. So, trains in Japan tend to be both crowded and sturdily built. Yeah. But should you find yourself standing and hanging onto a strap or a strap hanger, you might find yourself impressed at how stable the bar or the strap is attached to it. Sometimes that admiration can turn into curiosity, and you find yourself thinking, can I do a pull-up? That's a question that most people resist the urge to answer, but two demographics that are occasional exceptions that are teenagers and people who have been drinking. In a sense, you can say both were applied when a 49-year-old man who had a few beers at his high school reunion before getting on the train at Ishiya Station in Nagasaki Prefecture decided to burst out a set of pull-ups inside the train as it made its way down the JR Omura line. And as a New Yorker who has to deal with these damn kids jumping out, shouting, "Guess what time it is? It's showtime!" and dancing all over the place where you think you're going to get kicked in the skull, I find a person doing pull-ups quite refreshing. It's not particularly a good look for anyone, especially someone of his age, but what made the situation especially awkward is that Takahisa Kitamura, who as a member of the Nagasaki Prefecture Assembly is one of the highest ranking politicians in said prefecture. Kitamura says he had 3 or 4 beers at the reunion, and when asked why he decided to try to get some exercise in on the train ride home, he said, "It's incredibly embarrassing, but I truly had no memory of how I arrived to the decision to do that." Well, alcohol does that to you. I have no memory is a commonly trotted out phrase in Japan when public figures have to fess up for inebriated misconduct, which is also an excuse American politicians use as well. But in this case, there really doesn't seem to be any possible explanation that it seemed like a fun idea when I was drunk. To its credit, Kitamura didn't mince words in criticizing himself during a press conference he held on December 14th, 4 days after said incident. I did pull-ups in the train. It was inappropriate of me and a violation of the manners of a passenger on a public transportation must abide by. I wish to offer my sincere apologies to all the people of the Nagasaki Prefecture and other involved parties. I am deeply sorry, he said, adding, what I did was inexcusable and I will exercise better self-control so that this does not happen again. But this isn't the first time Kitamura's image has taken a hit due to drinking. In 2006, a blog post he admitted to have driven while drunk at his December 14th press conference, he also confirmed that he had done so more than once. Netizens have said things such as, hey, Mr. Politician, do that sort of thing at the gym, okay? Dude is acting like a junior high kid. 49 years old. If I'd been there, I would have wanted to smack him in the face. Drunk driving is bad, but this isn't exactly good either. I mean, if you had to pick one, drunk train riding is at least a better choice than drunk train driving. Still, if it's that hard for Kitamura to hold his liquor, he might want to consider doing both his drinking and exercising at home from now on. We actually have a freestanding, in the offices where this article came out of, there are freestanding pull-up racks, and it's kept most of them out of trouble. Keyword, mostly. But I'll say this, again, if someone comes on the train and starts doing pull-ups, as long as their feet don't hit me in the face while they're trying to do them, I really don't care. It'd be just quite refreshing of that, you know? And to go back to our first article, Ranma421 says, someone just hand him a sword and let him commit seppuku. He's read entire too many hentai mangas. Yeah. And the last one, my dear Barry.
So the last one, if you are a big fan of Japanese fruit, I am definitely the mangoes that I had when I was there last time. Oof, they were chef's kiss. It was $6 for the mango, but I'll tell you what, it was so good. Yamagata cherries fetch a record-breaking price at wholesale market first auction of the year. So for those who are interested in Japanese culture and snacks, as it were, they have very expensive fruit. They're so expensive, in fact, that many are considered gifts or highly valued treasures, and when they're eaten are considered just as heavily. There are some food dishes that could also be purchased for the same amount of yen. So as a former resident of the Northeastern Fruit Kingdom, Yamagata Prefecture, the top producer of cherries in Japan, the article author said they often used to send locally grown fruit as gifts. There's no way, however, I would be able to afford the record price that one small batch of cherries recently fetched at an auction in Tokyo. Sorry, friends. You can also even pick your own all-you-can-eat cherries in certain greenhouses. On January 5th, though, at Oda's Market's first wholesale auction of the year in Tokyo, produce wholesaler Funasho Group claimed the winning bid for the Yamagata-produced premium Sato Nishiki cherries, or 500 grams, or 1.1 pounds of the fruit, sold for its highest price ever, 1.3 million yen, or roughly 9,842 US dollars, which is 100,000 yen higher than the winning bid last year. Sweet and sour Sato Nishiki cherries are widely considered to be a top cherry variety in Yamagata, and if you look at the photo in our chat here at twitch.tv/anime jam session, you can definitely tell that the cherries are very ripe, very red, and very beautiful. It also is the fourth year in a row that the Funasho Group has won the first shipment of Sato Nishiki cherries as part of their wish for everyone involved in the food industry, including producers, distributors, and consumers, to have a successful year ahead. The cherries were then promptly sold at Tokyo's Yaoko Marketplace Higashiyamato branch on the day of the auction. The Funasho Group managers who placed the winning bid are pictured in the article, and 1.3 million yen is a staggering amount of money for a small box of cherries. And to put that into some gastronomic perspective, there are some things for the same amount of money you can get, such as huge portion steak boxes, a huge colossal megal parfait, Titanic katsudon bowls, and of course, many other things. Certainly hope that the Sato Nishiki cherries tasted sublime for their eventual buyer, especially considering that many who are uneducated on the popularity of fruits as gifts in Japan can't usually tell them apart from regular ones, even with the flavor profiles and how high quality they are. So
Whoops.
it's kind of a situation where you have to be there to experience it. And in the future, I hope you guys get a chance to experience some really high quality Japanese fruit, but maybe not these cherries.
These are not the cherries you are looking for.
Yeah, these are not the cherries you are looking for.
And if you're watching our stream, there is a picture of these tasty, delicious cherries.
I have watched videos of how they do fruits like this. I was watching one of, I believe it was honeydew.
Oh yeah, melon, musk melons, honeydew melons.
You got to send me
Yeah.
links to the cherry ones.
They basically take one plant and allow only one melon to grow on
Yep.
each vine.
Yep.
The way that they take care of it and foster it and fertilize it, and they treat these fruits like children.
They do. They do. They basically treat them like babies. They'll put padding around them. They'll make sure that they don't get bruised on any side. They rotate them. They will wrap them in netting to protect them from bugs or pesticides or things of that nature, because a lot of the time they don't use very high-end pesticides or anything like that. It's literally just prevention. So yeah, a lot of the fruit and veg that is very high price in Japan is for a reason. In Yamagata Prefecture, if you are looking to get that high fruit experience, Yamagata would be probably a place you'd want to visit if you ever find yourself in Japan.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
most farmers markets are awesome. Like,
I would love just to taste the difference, because you figure there definitely has to be a huge difference if a plant is only building one fruit against multiple fruits. With all of its time being taken just for that one fruit, it has to be phenomenal. Which is, I mean, why they do it, because those fruits aren't really for regular consumption.
No. You're going to get a higher fructose or sucrose content, so it's going to be sweeter. The way that the fruit is probably going to be is probably much firmer, or if it grows and it becomes softer, kind of like honeydew or cantaloupe in the middle, where it's got that kind of like, there's a little bit of hard rind, but most of the time it's pretty soft flesh. As far as like the mango was considered, it was very ripe and it was very tender, but it wasn't like bitter sweet. It didn't have any of that weird bitterness that sometimes fruit has in the States, because it's grown in mass quantities. It was just a very like floral. It has a much more floral flavor to it because it has that focus of growth and care. I do definitely think that the next time I find myself in Japan, I want to buy and try maybe one or two gift fruits, but it was just a matter of I didn't find myself close enough to any of the retailers for it when I was thinking about it, and so I didn't have a chance to get any.
All right, I think I think that is it. Let's go ahead and refresh that. I think it's time for us to wrap up this show. And no, what are you doing? Come back. There we go. I'm still getting the control of the menu back and forth, making sure it does what it's supposed to do. So I am going to do my absolute best to make some semblance of tonight's show and make sure that it comes out semi-decent and so forth. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get the heck up on out of here. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. We do this for the fun of it. So what we like and don't like, or straight up telling you. So if you have any questions about tonight's show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Don't forget to visit our website at animejamsession.com, where you will find our weekly podcast, anime reviews, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay interviews, editorials, links to our YouTube page of convention videos, links to our Facebook page of cosplay photos, all that and a whole lot more at animejamsession.com. See, what is this? All right, let's see. I just lost my tab. There we go. Don't forget to follow our podcast on portable devices like your iPhone, your Android phone, whatever you like. Mm-hmm. You can follow us by going to Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Just search Anime Jam Session. Episodes will come up, so definitely take a listen, and we'd appreciate that. And what's cool is some of these apps allow you to leave reviews, so if you can, leave us a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that as well. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Anime Jam Session across the board. Follow us on our YouTube for our convention videos. Follow us on Twitter when we're going live and articles are going up. Facebook for photos, if you just want to interact and say hi with us. And don't forget, down below is our tip jar. Link to our stream elements if you want to donate a few dollars to us. We'd appreciate that. Same thing with our Ko-Fi link down below. Cheering us on with bits in the chat is great, and subscriptions are always awesome. So we're going to go around the room and go for last words. Last words, Mako-chan.
I have to get up early, and then I have to go to work, and then I have to pick my mom up from the airport, and then I have to come home. Tomorrow's going to be a very long day.
Last words, Barry.
Well, I am about to fly off into the dark night and work on some fashion things. I've got to start getting ready.
My last words is I got to edit this, and then I got to pull out my best dress threads for an event tomorrow. You know, I'll be in the background somewhere, staying off site. I'll tell you more. I may tell you more about it on next week's show. But that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week. I'm Ranma.
I'm Mako-chan.
And I'm Barry Mellon.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Night.
Have a great one, folks.
Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Say goodnight, Barry.
Good night, Barry.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll see you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!